No, wait. No, wait. Hold on. I'm not ready. Stop the music. Stop. Oh, God. Oh, God, stop the music.
I know, I said it's ready.
No!
It's going Super Saiyan over there.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh, just in time. Good. Hello and welcome everyone to the return of 8-Bit Show. Is that what we're calling this?
Return.
Revenge of the 8-Bit Show.
Season of Power.
Season of Power.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. I'm Frankie1029. With me,
Yes.
as always, are my lovely co-hosts, Coffee and Corn Dogs,
That's me.
and Two Littles 505.
Who's asking?
Nobody's asking. We're telling. We're in charge.
We control the horizontal and the vertical.
Oh, we do. That's a good reference. Some of our younger viewers have no
Never
idea
know what we're talking about.
Because we're old. Actually, does that show still come on anywhere? Not that kids these days watch TV, but
I mean, they did like a reboot of it with Jordan Peele and stuff.
oh, they did. What was
Yeah.
this?
I think they did like 2 seasons.
Wow.
Maybe they just did one, but like
Years ago?
a few years ago, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. I
Not
had
too
no
long
idea.
ago.
That's cool. Well, yeah. We're here to talk about some video games and what else? Nerdy things, books, TV shows, things that interest us. And yeah, mainly news, mainly video games news. We'll spend a lot of time on that. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, how have you guys been? It's been a while.
It has been a while. It's been like a month because someone's been busy or whatever.
Sorry. It won't happen again. It'll happen again.
It's
Hopefully
better
not this bad though.
Not just kidding. Things happen. We all know that.
Yeah. Indeed.
And life finds a way. These are the things we know.
Yep. I'm trying to see when exactly our last one was.
A while ago.
It's been more than a month. It's been almost 2 months. Oh no, just 2 months. Yeah. Right? Yeah, I think so. But that's okay. We're back. We're here. We're doing things. You guys have been good?
Yeah.
Blaine?
That's good.
You know?
Good.
Playing games, watching movies, doing the things.
Playing some Magic.
Yeah, lately.
Just do that, yeah.
Yeah. You guys have been enjoying that. I'm not big on the Magic stuff.
Yeah, I was saying that we should also like play something else sometime. Get you involved. In,
Yeah.
Playing a game with us. Play some Firefly or something.
Oh yeah. That'd be
Which
good.
Firefly?
It's true.
Whatever one, I guess.
That. I mean, I guess I don't really mind. We can't play whatever one.
Yeah, I don't know. Magic just never like super appealed to me. I remember watching people play and trying to play, and I don't know. Like, there's definitely like that initial feeling of it being like overwhelming. But like even after that, it was just kind of like, I don't know, just wasn't for me, you know?
Yeah.
Same with Pokemon, you know? As much as I love the cards and everything, and you know, almost everyone I knew played. I don't know why. I just couldn't really get into it. It's one of those things, I suppose.
I think the only other card game one I played any amount of time in was Yu-Gi-Oh! And that was
Yu-Gi-Oh!
mostly to get my brother into Magic,
Mm-hmm.
which backfired, and he just became like big ol' into Yu-Gi-Oh! So
You're like, check out this thing. You'll like this other thing. No, I like the first thing you showed me.
yeah. We'll go back to the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it.
Damn it. Yep. Well, let's see. Shall we hop into the news then? Do some,
I
some
suppose
news things. We can do some
there's
news
things that have happened. Quite a lot of things, honestly, and we're going to skip a lot of it.
Yeah.
But there's some big things that I suppose we should talk about.
Yeah. There are a few big things.
But I'm kind of busy designing a city. I don't know if you noticed. It takes a lot of work.
It does take a lot of work. It's okay.
Okay. I'll do my best. But...
Well, I'll start it off if you'd like me to start it off.
Okay.
So we got from Kotaku this report. There's this video that this guy put out. This Italian guy who was threatened with jail time for reviewing retro gaming handhelds. Yeah, he just reviews a bunch of different, gaming devices out there, but he believes that what happened is that since some of these devices come with, pirated games on there, that he was targeted in that way by officials. I guess it's even a law that they haven't really used a whole lot, but for some reason they've come after him. So it's kind of crazy because like he's not trying to really per se promote pirating, but the fact of that he's using these devices on screen or whatever, like that's apparently what a big deal is in Italy. So I mean that's the thing, is like, does this stop at Italy, or does this become a wider thing that happens? We already see that, in the US this is also kind of a gray area, but it's kind of crazy that, just people who aren't promoting pirating are still getting
the take.
Yeah.
Well, because it's easier to attack them.
Yeah, because
they're ready.
Right.
People doing the crimes are ready with their lawyers and stuff. But these innocent people.
Mm-hmm.
Now they are free game.
So yeah, he's I think he's taking up a little fun on GoFundMe to kind of fight this and whatnot. So head over to Kotaku to check out the links and whatnot. Yeah.
Oh, I suppose you're wanting me to do something now.
I mean, if you want.
That's like rude to just want me to do that sort of thing that I agreed to do. Yeah. Well, let's see. There's a good place to start. Where should I start?
Where
I
indeed?
guess the only like kind of small thing I got is Valve recently confirming that credit card companies have pressured it to delist certain adult games from
Yeah.
Steam.
Oh, Valve.
But yeah, their little statement was that we were recently notified that certain games on Steam may violate the rules and standards set forth by our payment processors and the related card networks / banks. As a result, we are retiring those games from being sold on Steam store. It's just kind of crazy. It's not the first time that like credit card companies and banks have kind of gotten in the way of like adult entertainment.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a tough thing when the market is as broad as Steam's. Like it's difficult to have adult content next to content that's sometimes specifically for minors, even if it's like separated because like, oh well, you have the whole age thing or whatever, right? Like it's still looked at as weird. I think that's the primary issue. But then it's hard for these adult companies to have their own markets.
Like, where are they supposed to go?
Yeah.
Because then no bank. I mean, the issue is like banks and stuff really not wanting to deal with them because it's considered some like taboo or something.
Yeah.
It definitely. I've seen it affect in way more hardcore situations. Like actors and actresses in like adult media, where they have like a hard time finding a bank to put their money in, and then when those gray areas happen, it's like the legalization and the recreational use of like marijuana in states, where like a lot of banks won't deal business with those companies, and it became like a big issue, especially when it first started with like California and stuff, where they were like just like cash businesses. These guys were keeping like their whole entire business's money in like a safe,
Yeah.
And that's not safe for anybody.
Yeah, no.
So this kind of like rings of that sort of thing to me, at least. Of course, some of that also I understand from the bank side. Some of those things get so like bogged down with a lot of scamming, not by them, but like from similar things, that they just kind of like blanket no on it.
Right. Yeah.
And sometimes it's not even scamming. Sometimes it's that they get too many calls from people going like, oh, I didn't buy that.
Yeah.
Even though, they probably did.
Yeah.
Just not wanting to admit to them buying it. And that can affect banks' decisions too. Hard to think of like an example right off the bat. But when I worked for Alorica doing bank operating stuff like that, there was like weird ones. And certain sites that you would think would be like totally fine, but no, they're like blacklisted from our or from that bank's like system.
Yeah.
They don't like their customers doing business with them at all.
That's crazy.
It's kind of weird though that they can regulate or that they can decide that in some ways. But it is for like safety,
Yeah, I think
as
that's
most regulations end up being for.
yeah, like it's one of those things where it's like, you know, if you take that away from the banks being able to decide, then it could be a bigger issue. You know, with people not being able, again, like you said, just for safety, just for scams and things like that, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. There needs to be. I'm amazed that there isn't at this point. Basically, like, you know, some company out there that's kind of taking it upon themselves to like be more of a banking institution that's more friendly to adult entertainment, but maybe it's just that difficult.
Yeah, I don't know why it seems to be such a problem.
Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Banks have like vice contracts that their employees have to sign where they can't do stuff if they while they work at the bank. Like they're not supposed to go to a strip club or
Yeah.
go out to the bars or anything.
Ethics stuff, yeah.
Yeah, there's I know there's some stuff. So I wonder if it's related to that, where like the bank just doesn't want that associated with its image.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Still weird.
I mean, it's weird that they make people that they tell people what they can do with their personal time,
Right.
just so you can work there. But yeah, maybe that. Imagine it's similar with the like weed transactions. Well, also that stuff's federally illegal, so there's
There's that level
weird
on it. Yeah, that's why I said like the gray areas.
weird law stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next up, I got some news from your favorite company, Christian. You know your favorite company?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I have a favorite company.
Yeah, you do.
Capcom.
We love so many companies.
Favorite company and favorite CEO and favorite CEO's son.
I mean, aren't they always in the damn news?
Ubisoft.
Sucks. End of statement.
Sucks.
News over.
News over.
News completed.
Yeah, so that Tencent spinoff, Yves Guillemot has elevated his son Charlie, along with another person that I don't remember who their name was, but they're co-CEO, ensuring.
Don't worry, it's not nepotism.
No, not at all.
I'm assured that.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he does a better job. Because he was the one that, from what I understand, he was over at Ubisoft Montreal, which is where they were actually making some decent games for a while. So, I don't know. Maybe he is just a better person. I mean, it's hard to get worse than Yves.
Come on now, low bar.
But yeah, so that family will continue on doing their things. Yep.
Hooray! Yay for progress.
I mean, that whole situation is weird anyways, with the whole like secondary Ubisoft. Like, I don't know. It was like when Google announced they were becoming Alphabet, and Google is a separate company from Alphabet, owned by Alphabet. You know, it's like, why? And what else has Alphabet even done since then, other than Google? Anything?
They made that soup. Right?
You're right.
Yeah, they're famous for that.
Yeah.
Is that a different alphabet?
No, I think that's the one.
That's exactly correct. And you should
Yeah.
tell people that.
Yeah.
I do all the time. With authority too.
Good. What other way would you?
Well, yeah, and then when I get called out, I'm gonna double down like crazy. And triple down. And quadruple
Can't double down and triple down.
If it's about Ubisoft, I quadruple down. Specifically.
I mean, okay. I don't even know any of these. There's Google Fiber, GV, whatever that is. Oh, Venture Capital Investment Arm.
Oh, that
Capital
sounds
G,
nice.
an independent growth fund. Isomorphic Labs.
Oh, that doesn't sound evil at all.
It's an
Sure.
AI for drug discovery, which actually is kind of important. I don't know if you saw, but like the things we've been able to figure out about proteins because of AI. Whoa, medication. Like we might be able to be making like antibiotics again.
Like,
Like
oh,
new
working
antibiotics.
antibiotics.
Yeah, exactly. So interesting. Okay. They're doing things. But yeah. Enough of Ubisoft. We hear about them all the time. If you're plugged into
their
the
financial
gaming news.
report was something to behold. If you do enjoy engaging and seeing them make up all the excuses, I think at some point they say that like, loot boxes are fun for players and
Microtransactions, I think, was what they said.
microtransactions. Microtransactions are fun.
Yeah.
They are?
Apparently.
What you told me.
Well, you should be caught in the loop more.
You know, I will say I think
I'm
they
gonna try.
what's fun are because it was something about character customization and being able to like enhance, you know, your character or whatever. I don't think the whole like
No, they got the wrong thing out of that. Remember when it was really cool that you could unlock like different costumes in your game, like by doing different things?
Right.
Be like, oh, reach this level and you unlock this costume, or hey, if you beat the game with all of these people, you'll unlock special costumes for them. All those days gone are those days. As that they're like, hey, you can get this cool costume if you give us all your money.
See, and I don't know. It's one of those things where I wish the game still had that in them. That'd be okay if you wanted to sell like newer costumes that you put in for a nominal fee.
Well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with wanting to sell like some extra stuff for your game.
But I mean, the
like
fact that
putting out
all of
cool
the
extra things.
Yeah, the fact that they've all gone.
But it's supposed to be extra things, not things you're just taking away from the game to pay to make money out of.
Listen, do you want these poor CEOs to go poor?
Yes.
Oh, well, shit.
I think they should be taxed more, and they should not have nearly as much money and power as they have. Yes. Is that so wrong? Is that so hard?
According to all of them, yes.
Okay.
Keep talking like that, CBS is going to come and cancel us. And then who's going to have a late show?
Then who's going to have a late show? I like how we're getting a lot of news out of the way and just gags and bits. Right now. It's really helping me along. What else you got?
What else do I got? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna save this one for a little bit later. Let's see. All right. So the FBI, what do? They
I mean, what don't they do?
they seized a major Switch ROM site. And let's see. So yeah. So basically same sort of stuff, just, you know, pirated copies of video games, you know, that have been that weren't even released yet. Let me see if I can pull up these sites here that if you go visit now, you'll see that big old FBI seal on them. So there's nsw2u.com, nswdl.com. These just roll right off the tongue, by the way.
Yeah.
Game-2u.com. That's an okay one. BigNgame.com. And various other ones. So yeah, they've done a lot more dismantling of these websites. Yeah, it's one of these things because they always announce there's like an estimated loss when you just have no freaking idea. I don't know why they say that. That's like, I'm cool with the fact that, you know, they're going after these companies because it can take away from the artist, especially if you're releasing the game before the games come out. Like that can be shitty. Whether it's a big developer or a small developer, like that has to hurt the people that worked on it. You know.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's just gotta sting. But the fact that it's like, you know, so much money was lost, you know, because of these pirates, like, okay, like if you're telling me that that's the amount of money that people spent on these games that never you know, that the software developers never actually got their hands on, but actual money that was spent, sure. But no, that's never what it is. It's always like, this is the total amount of money that people lost, because you have no idea if those the people who bought those pirated games would have ever bought at the full price, right?
True.
So I don't know. And they always say it's an quote unquote estimated loss.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know if those people are gonna buy or not.
Yeah.
Ever.
So yeah.
I think, you know, piracy is always touchy in general. I think there's plenty of ways that you can justify pirating games, or, you know, downloading an emulator of a game even.
Yeah.
Especially with, you know, games. Plenty of games having not been around anymore. If you could find it like that, and the ability to play it and share it with other people, I don't mind that. But there's plenty of ways to be scummy about it as well. Like, there's no need to be charging people.
Right.
In fact, it's what's going to get you caught most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure we'll discuss it at some point. Entering the market changes what you can do and what you can get away with. Putting a price tag on something changes how it needs to be put out there.
Yep. Indeed.
So Microsoft laid off like 9,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
recently, and yet another big wave of layoffs.
Right.
We love to see them. By that, I mean not at all. It sucks. That's so many jobs. That's so much talent.
That's a lot.
So much. With that comes like the cancellation of that is across, like they said it's across a lot of Microsoft, or like a lot of Microsoft, but gaming definitely got hit pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of canceled games, including the new Perfect Dark, which had been worked on for the past 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
apparently. And that's a tough one. We're given the exact same corporo speak reasons why that they need to do it. Like, keep in mind, this is from a company that just went and bought a whole bunch of things, and this is
They've been
exactly what
scooping up
Microsoft
things like crazy for the last few years.
This is exactly what like Microsoft does. It's the whole reason that they had to go through a whole court thing to buy Activision, because they buy all this stuff, and then they're like, oh well, we need to condense and not spread ourselves so thin, and we're gonna take what we have and condense it all down and make it even more profitable.
Mm-hmm.
And all they're doing is buying up places and closing them down. I mean, yeah, that's just crazy. So many layoffs. Everwild, which was announced in 2019, also got canceled.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Phil Spencer made a statement in his little memo. He said, "We made a decision to stop development on Perfect Dark and Everwild, as well as wind down several unannounced projects across our portfolio. As part of this, we are closing one of our studios. The initiative, the decision, along with the changes across our team, reflect a broader effort to adjust priorities and focus resources to set up our teams for greater success within a changing industry. We did not make these choices lightly, as each project and team represents years of effort, imagination, and a commitment. Our overall portfolio strategy is unchanged. Build games that excite players, continue to grow our biggest franchises, and create new stories, worlds, and characters. We have more than 40 projects in active development. Continued momentum on these titles, shipping this fall, and a stronger slate headed into 2026.
See, what's confusing about this is it's like they admitted that, you know, they're seeing growth. So, like, what is actually the reason behind this other than make more money?
It's all make more money. I mean, according to Bloomberg, Candy Crush developer King was a part of the acquisition, is being let go. Is cutting 10% of its staff, which amounts to 200 jobs. ZeniMax just had their it hadn't yet been revealed online game that they were working on, and some of them are leaving, and they've put out messages trying to calm the crowd. Put out messages with like, you know, ESO support still going strong and stuff.
Yeah.
That sucks. just year after year to see this many people go.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing, is it's like, I don't know.
I think they're now well over like 1,200 or 12,000 employees let go over the course of the last like 2 years.
Oh, probably.
Microsoft alone.
Yeah. I would. I don't have the numbers, but yeah.
Because it was January, not January of this year, but last year was like another like couple thousand employees.
Yeah.
And then the year before that, and last year, like,
yeah.
Either these companies need to stop going and buying all these other studios when they clearly don't have the money. Because then why are these people getting fired?
But again, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I can the biggest thing that I can see is that, okay, why are they giving up on these games here that are have been in development that they're hoping will make an impact? It sounds like they're doing well financially, and yet they're still doing this. The only thing that I can think is these have to be places that are underperforming in some way, shape, or form, right? Like, maybe the game wasn't looking as good, and the teams have been working on them so long, and maybe it's becoming unsustainable. And I it's one of those things where
someone's not telling the truth on all that.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, you don't want to like go out there and be like, oh yeah, like our developers are cheating the game right now. So like, that's not exactly the best thing to do.
No,
they don't want to call
it that too.
Yeah, like, but so I don't know if that's all it is. They're just trying to, save face in that respect for these developers. Or again, I mean, obviously still that's money as the bottom line. It just doesn't make sense, like, why you would spend all this time and money investing in these things and not get any return on it at all. Like, are they just straight up canceling at least those two games without trying to pivot them at all? Maybe into a different IP, or, save any technology that they've created from it. Like, it sounds like it's being completely dumped, which it's a big hit for a company to decide to do. It'd be interesting to hear more. I'm sure that we'll hear more from developers.
I think it would normally be, if you're talking about like an average normal company, but it goes to show you how big Microsoft is. Wasting money on 5 years of development of a new, really look forward to game, and the thousands of dollars it took to buy the studios and all that isn't much for them.
No, but it's still a loss. And why would they take that? Why wouldn't they wait until?
Because they've determined it's negligible onto how much money they'll make.
That's well, that's what I mean, is that it's obviously it sounds like something that these studios, these people who are being let go, maybe not specifically the people, but at least the studio isn't performing the way that they want to. They're looking at the product that's coming out and going, oh, well, maybe this isn't going to sell, and they've spent a lot of time on this. I don't see any other reason why they would just completely dump it. Like, again, yes, 100% totally over the money. Because they're trying to not lose any more money, right? Like what you're saying is that, like, yeah, it's negligible. But now's the time to pull out while it's negligible before it starts becoming an issue.
I mean,
'Cause if it's
Microsoft's been doing this a long time for more than just in gaming.
Oh yeah, no, but it's
You buy out the competition and you kill them off. You take what they have and you kill them off.
yeah, no, but that's not exactly what this is. This is a little different than that. Like, they've been working on these things.
The closing of the studios after like a game. It's because they don't see that game being as profitable as they want. Because
yeah,
the way I see it is like Perfect Dark and the games that did get canceled aren't games that are live service. At the end of the day, they're not live service. They're not the ones that are going to net them billions of dollars in free money from little work.
But then
that's what all these studios seem to want, is just the...
But that doesn't make sense for why they're firing some of the people at ZeniMax. You know?
That I'm not sure.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like there's something more going on here that they're not talking about, and maybe it's just because, you know, they don't want to, you know, be like, our developers are not doing good. You know, they don't want to tell anybody that, you know, they don't have good talent somewhere. B, you know, they don't want to create that perception that's could be shared around with other studios and whatnot, or their investors, or you know.
I mean, at the end of the day, it feels like they just spread themselves. Yeah, they bought too many games. I mean, even after the cuts, they said they have 40 projects in the works.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it sounds like they did what they did, which was what we watched them do: buy all of these studios and spread them out so thin that like the only logical reason to keep or to actually make money off of it is to cut a number of games and studios.
I don't know. Again, it's just weird because they're saying that they're making money. Like you said, Microsoft's big enough where that
is a negligible amount of money.
Yeah, it's a negligible amount of money. It just feels like there's something more going on, you know?
Keep in mind, we're talking about Microsoft. I mean, in the top of the article that I posted, it shows from their 2024 revenue, they exceeded $245 billion.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There's nothing to them. Those companies that they bought for millions of dollars, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So
they can't. I feel like this is negligible for them. This isn't even that big of a loss. They saw that they kind of spanned at. They bought all these companies. They're all making all these projects, and we're like, we don't want to spend this much money. So let's cut the ones that we feel aren't going to be profitable enough. Not even good games, just profitable enough.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, but I mean, that's kind of contradictory to them saying, "Oh, it's negligible."
Is it though? Because I mean, no, it's not. It's not negligible. It's not, because they're always trying to figure out how to make more money, right?
Yeah, of course. But why don't
That's why it's not a big deal for them to cut. That loss isn't really a loss for them when they cut 5 years of funding and work for a game.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that what I think is that what's happening here is they see the writing on the wall for these specific games, and they're saying, okay, they're not working out. They want to cut their loss.
It's seeing writing on the wall. I think it's all profitability.
Well, of course, it's profitability. I think that
they don't believe them to be profitable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's because they're not performing the way that they want them to. They're not just saying, oh, well, we're just gonna ditch him because we can. I'm saying that there's actual problems going on here, and they don't want to put forth that money because it could lose them money if they continue. Like right now, it's probably not. It's probably fine. But they're looking at these games as, oh, we're not going to make our return on investment back even. So why continue going forward? You know?
I don't even think it's necessarily return on investment. I think it's their quotas. This whole push for live service and stuff has really gotten them mixed. I mean, you can read it in the even in the Ubisoft thing. They're still in this mindset that like people are going to spend as much money as they did during like the pandemic when we were all locked indoors and couldn't be out spending money.
Well, but
like they're all still set in this mindset, and they're all looking for that one game to bring them billions of dollars.
yeah, but I mean, they just were shown how, you know, non-live service games can be very profitable for them.
Which one?
Oblivion.
Not nearly as profitable as any of their live service games.
It's still,
It's a good seller. I'm not denying
it was a huge blowout, though. Like, they made a lot of money off
yes,
of that.
but for very little work, they can introduce a live, or you know, for a lot of money, it might cost off the initial front, as we've seen with Concord and stuff. It might cost a lot off front, but once they get it going, they want the money mill. They want their Grand Theft Auto 5. They want their Fortnite. They want the game that's going to bring them billions of dollars without them having to do much.
I get what you're saying, but I don't think they really had to do a whole lot with Oblivion. I mean, they offloaded all that, you know?
But it's not as profitable as any of those. Like, by a lot.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, single-player game, that's the problem with single-player games and why we don't see them as much. They are not as profitable. Because they can't keep soaking money out of us.
Well, I think some single player games would disagree with that. They've been very good at soaking some money out of people after the fact. Oblivion's one of them with that horse armor.
Please, they started the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Bethesda gets no leeway.
I'm not saying they get a leeway. I'm saying that's what they do it with the single player. It all started in a single player world.
I think at the end of the day, it really just comes down to corporate greed.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I mean,
Because, especially after 5 years, after spending 5 years and that much money on game, you would think a normal decision would be, okay, it's gone this far. We've got to be pretty close to release. Let's finish that off and make what we can back. But that's not the way they see it. They see that game isn't going to be nearly as profitable as they want, or any of the other live service games. How much you want to bet that over 50% of the 40 games he said that they're working on are live service games?
I mean, I don't want to take that bet.
Exactly.
But again, it's one of these things where these games have been worked on for so long that, you know, why don't they just dial it in and try to make money off of it? You know, like you said,
Because they'd rather spend millions of dollars on a failure and try to get that audience than on a single player type experience that would not be nearly as profitable.
Yeah, but if you already made it, you're already 4 years in. It's just like what you just said a minute ago, Christian. Like, why don't you just do it? You know, why don't you just continue? You got the game
I'm
there.
saying they should, but
that's what I'm saying.
not,
is, you know, it's kind of
greed doesn't come to.
Yeah, but what if the game is shit and they don't want to release it because they're like, hey, this game actually sucks and we've spent a lot of money on this team. Like, maybe this isn't working.
Okay,
We've given them chances, you know?
Okay, I would agree with you if they wouldn't already be pushing out games that suck and are shit.
Well, but that, you know, it's one of those things where it's a matter
And
of
half
taste,
done.
right? I'm not saying that the game is actually shit. I'm saying that that's what they think of. It's like the Catwoman thing, right? Like,
even when, like, they're not afraid to put out something bad. They're not afraid to put out something half finished. They're not afraid to do these things.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it seems weird. Why don't they just do it? Make a little bit of money off of it. Like, who cares if they have those other things that are going on? Like, obviously, if they have this stuff, they can just release it. Like, how much more is it going to cost them to just release it? Instead of just straight up canceling it.
I just doubt that the reason for cutting is that it was a bad game or going to be a bad user experience. They've shown they don't really care about that. They will push out games that way. So it lands a little flat.
Yeah, but
there was something wrong with the game.
I
think it just solely comes down to some financial decision. I doubt that it had anything to do with how the game was.
So, but that's the thing. What is the other reason? Because that's yes, that is a financial motivator right there, right? Like, the game wasn't doing well, wasn't looking well, so we're not going to make money off of this. Like, what it sounds like you're saying is that it would just be because purely they want to abandon any single player game because it won't make money if it's not a live service game. Like, it has to be a live service game. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. In a broken down term, yeah. If it's not going to be profitable, like those that can make billions of dollars with low effort, they don't want to spend up money to do it.
But you said yourself that, like, it's wait. What do you mean low effort? Not for the live service games. You mean for a single player game?
Mostly for, like, once you have a live service game out there, you don't have to put as much resources in, like, making a new game. You just let that roll out and print money for you. Obviously, there's a lot of work that goes into making a live service game and a lot of money. That's why they're willing to spend, $500,000 to make Concord and then kill it within 2 months because it didn't do good. I just see this. I don't see it as in a representation of what the game's state was. I don't think it had to do with, like, oh, this game isn't it going to be a fun game. I don't think that came to their mind at all. Wow. I think that they saw they either had to put more money into it, like Perfect Dark either needed more time, like another 5 years, which would have cost them more money, and it wasn't going to be, the money printing machine to accept that cost, accept the fact that it's going to take that much more money. Not that they don't have that money.
Yeah.
Just they don't want to spend that to create a game that, even though it might break how much was spent on it, as far as, income, like Oblivion, it didn't cost them much to do that and still broke their records. That's still not like that was like to pad their pocket a little bit. Not, that's, when it comes to those games, those are weak on the side of how much money they get from them.
Yeah.
Bethesda, even though it's not that big of a game, Bethesda makes more money off of 76 than they did off of the Oblivion remaster.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I don't think it had to do with, like, state of game. I don't think, like, the developers were doing a bad job or any sense that the game wasn't good enough for release, just because I don't think that's what they have ever cared about.
Yeah.
I think they saw that they would have had to spend more money to get it along and didn't want to.
Yeah.
For something that wasn't as profitable as many of their other live service games are. Or there's other shady stuff going along, which we can see with like things of like the Krafton incident, Krafton and Subnautica 2 stuff.
Yeah.
Where now there's lawsuits because there might be because it might have been because Krafton didn't want to pay $250 million in bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole bunch of stuff with that, and it's hard because I'm on neither side. Like the CEOs, I can believe some of the things that are said about the CEOs from Krafton, but I can also believe the stuff the CEOs said about Krafton because they're publishers.
Right.
So there's like a whole bunch of stuff there, and I don't really know how to. I think for that story, I'm gonna have to wait and research some more.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that there's more stuff coming out this morning as well.
Every day, literally every day. That's why I think I'm gonna skip that story for today because it's just a constant thing.
Well, I
know
already
that
have
crazy
it up
stuff
on screen, but
yeah, well, we can bring it up like slightly. I'm just not going to go into any like true
details,
in-depth
yeah.
detail. Know that Krafton fired the co-founders and CEO of Otherworlds,
mm-hmm.
Who's making Subnautica 2. This happened just before they were going to be releasing, before it got delayed, or just after they announced a delay for the early access.
Yeah.
Which there's some reports from Jason Schreier of Bloomberg, a very reliable source. I'll say that there was like the game was ready for early access, and it seems like the publishers didn't want to. They wanted to push it out further, but this also would have resulted in them not reaching goals for a $250 million bonus. Some of which, and the amounts, the Krafton's saying that the co-founders and CEO were going to hold out most, or we're going to keep most of that bonus for themselves and only give the workforce 10%, which again, I can believe they would do that.
Yeah. Indeed.
And they also said they were kind of like abandoning it. Krafton had some things to say about the employment or the management, saying they were let go basically because of negligence and abandoning the project. I have seen some people try and attack the guy that they put in as CEO or interim CEO. I wouldn't agree with any of that.
What?
Because I doubt he
had
has
anything to do with it. Yeah. Well,
of a decision.
Maybe I shouldn't bring up what they're attacking him about then.
I don't want to bring up what they're attacking. I just saw it and just kind of, just like, I don't know much about the guy Papontis that they got as interim. But there's, maybe don't attack like the people who just got hired from like the outside. Like,
yeah, well, you don't know much about them
they
anyways.
just came in.
Yeah.
He did make some statements, but that's come on. He's CEO. He's supposed to try and do something.
Yeah. Right now he's just doing his job. We'll see how it goes.
Now, yeah.
Like, you don't have to trust him, but
from the statement that I read from him, he seems more like he just wants to come in and try and help get this game off like it's supposed to be. There's been boycotts for Subnautica. I'm going to tend to lean towards the sides that I trust a little bit more, which is Jason Schreier's reporting.
Yeah.
And the things I've heard out of that, which is a lot of upper management issues, which is CEO and stuff. Maybe it was them, maybe it was the publishers. We don't know. But now there's a whole lawsuit involved, so we're definitely going to find out a lot.
Yeah.
For now, I'll leave my opinions on it as kind of just I hope that the developers can get something out of it. There's been talk that that Krafton has extended some of the mile markers for them for getting a bonus. Of course, nothing was said about how much of that is going on. Nothing on monetary wise.
Yeah.
But they did try and Krafton is trying to
Do something.
do some damage control on the fact that people thought that people believe it's just because they don't want to pay $250 million bonus. But there's a lot there. There's so much. Apparently, there's even if some of what was said that someone from Krafton, someone high up in Krafton said that they had to, loosely reported or whatever. I don't know if to believe it or whatever, but that behind closed doors they said that if they had to pay that out, it would kill Krafton. And if that was said, that's damning.
Yeah.
A lot of this that I'm picking up is stuff that was accused in the legal accusation that was put forward that you can read from one of the co-founders of the company. He posted it. I saw it on the Twitter.
The Tweety Box, the artist formerly known as Tweety Box.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so they had there's a lot of accusations made in this. Some of it can be corroborated with what Jason Schreier reported. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But as far as who to root for in this, I would just say the devs and the people, the simple bystanders.
Yeah.
Who are getting caught in the lines. As far as the co-founders and CEOs, I have a little sympathy for the co-founders because that sucks to start something and get it taken away from you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But if it was for your negligence, I don't feel bad.
Right. Yeah. We have to see.
We'll see what gets determined. It's hard for me to trust any of the two people's sides because their frontmen aren't notably trustworthy people.
Exactly.
A publisher tried to save themselves for money and some head management stuff. Now it's hard to believe, hard for me to trust that. That's just me though.
No, I think that's pretty much everyone. Not just you. Yeah.
But yeah, I think for that, I'm just gonna leave it for their. I plan to go further in depth, but there's just more and more happens every day.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about it some more next week for sure. Otherwise, we can. Oh, you know what? I forgot actually. There was something else that I saw that came out about Stop Killing Games today. I thought. Where did I see that?
That's also an issue that's going to be kind of ongoing for a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've made some headway and whatnot. So,
yes, there's been at least a little bit of support from, or vague support from, at least a member of the European Parliament.
Yeah,
or whatever they use.
Yeah.
I think Italy still uses a king.
Yeah?
No, probably not.
Let's see, past week.
I don't think France does.
Oh, that's what it is that I saw. That Ubisoft, Eves was asked about the Stop Killing Games initiative. Was asked to speak out about it, and yeah, wasn't great from what I understand. I didn't read the article, obviously, but
I was supposed to believe it was going to be great from a guy who said that gamers need to get used to the fact that they don't own games.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. We've discussed it a little bit.
Yeah.
I know that you kind of come from the side of having some worries about it.
Well, I think,
but also agreeing at the end of the day that of what it's trying to do.
yeah, I think that the issue that blew up around Pirate Software, which honestly, it's really cool that in the end he ended up helping the initiative.
He was at the very end of the day, he brought it to its goal. Like,
yeah, I think
at the end of the day, he did. I think some of the other, like, he's not new to controversy, as I've learned recently.
No.
Nor do I think this issue should be involving him all that much. He made his points about it, which, albeit I don't really agree with some of his points. I think a lot of that is hypothetical stuff and easily worked around, and also misunderstands the core component of, I think he's seeing it from like a US perspective, a Western perspective,
100%,
and what is being done and stuff. And some of that I would kind of agree with him. But as someone who comes from the food industry and knows that regulations are rather important, even the ones that seem really stupid and odd are there for like legitimate reasons.
Yeah.
I can't help but see this be for the better. I mean,
well, so
I'm all for it.
No, I'm 100% for what the initiative's goal is, which is bringing awareness to this, trying to get some game preservation done. I think there are a lot of concerns about how to go forward with that haven't been addressed up to this point.
That's the whole point of, the initiative, is that legislators start talking about how to address that.
Well, but
we have the people who are, in charge of making the laws look at how they can apply the law to that.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I mean, part of the things too that have been said, what's his name? The guy who's been the forefront of Stop Killing Games. Dang it, what's his name?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
I don't remember.
Accursed Farms.
Yeah, the Accursed Farms guy. So, yeah, like some of his statements, the way that he was saying, like, it should just be, passed through, with hopefully they can get, these politicians to just, agree to things right away. I don't think that's the wisest thing.
But I don't think his asks aren't.
That's not how that's going to work. He's not a politician.
No.
He probably understands how any of that legislation works as much as any other Joe Blow gamer.
Yeah, but what he was calling for was basically, if we can rush this through and try to, get it, this minimal awareness out, that'll give politicians an easy win, so that it doesn't really matter what we put in there. We're just going to win. Well,
that's just him making arguments for his initiative. That's not him saying, these politicians are going to 100% carbon copy what it says on the initiative and make it a law. Well, and that's not even what he's pushing for.
No, but it's the sentiment that he brings about from that whole part of his video.
Okay. But that's going to have exactly zero influence on it actually any effect on the law.
Yeah, but if that's what gamers
he's not in charge of legislating this.
No, but I mean, if that's what, people are expecting out of this, then
also pushing the basics of what you want, I don't think are a bad thing. Like,
no, it's not.
Asking a game to asking developers and stuff to have an end of life cycle isn't that much. There's already exceptions put forth for certain things.
I agree that the wording in the initiative is vague as to what the law would actually be or how they would regulate that.
Yeah,
because it's not he didn't write a bill to be submitted for legislation. He wrote an initiative because he's not a legislator.
Yeah.
Now the legislators now they know that people are interested in that. Over 1 million people in the EU would like to see that discussed. Now legislators will discuss it. If I had to guess, there will be a committee put at most, honestly. There will be a committee put together for it, and maybe we'll see something in a couple of years. Maybe. Probably not. It'll probably die in committee.
You'll see lobbyists on both sides join. You'll see the European Gamer Alliance or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
games are gonna spend a shitload of money to not have any of this happen. There's gonna be a lot of pushback to it.
Yeah, no, definitely. You're gonna hear more opinions from those bigger companies than you are from smaller developers. Honestly, they're gonna have more of a
well, that's true too. Yeah, they have much more of a voice.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like those are all things that are required, from what I understand, by getting the signatures. That, like you said, it's not at most. I think there is going to be a committee in one way, shape, or form. How big that committee is, how seriously they do it.
But I mean, that probably will be like at most what they do. I don't know if it'll go beyond. It'll probably die in committee. Most bills do die in committee, so it's not like, I'm not saying like, oh, this, this has although I mean that Chris Farms guy is arguing that it's an easy win, but I kind of disagree with that because there's a lot of lobbyist money that's
going to be tied into it. Yeah,
I think
it's going to be trying to keep these guys away from that.
I felt that those statements were trying to come from an optimistic side.
Yeah, no, I mean that's him pushing the,
especially after his previous video where he was very dejected about the whole thing and wasn't sure it was even going to make it.
Yeah, no.
From that to the next video where he's like, hey, this is gonna make it. And then I think some of that's just coming from, I don't want to say like ignorant optimism, but
I think
optimism nonetheless of like, hey, like they might actually just go ahead and push some of this through. It might be easier than we think, type talk. I don't think any of that should be held to any.
I think it's good. I think a committee should sit down and see how we should regulate games. We've managed to get rid of loot boxes for the most part in games. These are the games that I play.
And thanks to the European side of gaming.
Yeah, just because a few countries have made them illegal to have in their games. Some the big developers, if they want to be able to release in that market, and they do because they want to release in every market, then they're not going to put loot boxes in their game. That's fucking awesome for me. I mean, plenty of games still with loot boxes in them, but now they have less markets they can release in. So I mean, I would like to see that. They can look at other predatory practices of game publishers that they can stop in a market. And
I think my big thing is
bigger publishers, the ones who are the biggest culprits of doing this. These bigger publishers.
The biggest issues here are like, these people, especially the big companies, they're not going to do anything about it unless they're regulated and told to do it.
Well, Well, again, I don't think that that's necessarily true. We've been able to get.
No, they won't do it unless they're regulated and told to do it. That's how every company's always operated. It is true.
No, not necessarily. I mean, there's a reason why. Like, you look at the ESRB, things like that. Like, these have come through because companies have decided, like, okay, we do want to stand up for this. So, we don't want to be regulated.
I'll point to a couple real quick outside, even outside of gaming. Seatbelts. We wouldn't have seatbelts if it wasn't regulated that they got put in.
No, I understand that. I'm not
fought really hard not to put seatbelts in because it would have cost them money to rebuild their factories. This is a very prevalent to like what's happening and the excuses that they're making with the whole it would cost more money thing.
I guess we should be more clear. Companies will definitely, if it costs them any more money, then they're not going to do anything unless it's regulated. Do you think restaurants would give two shits about like health code stuff if that shit wasn't regulated? They would save so much money and just have the shittiest shit. I mean, not every restaurant. Not all restaurants are interested in constantly poisoning their clientele, but
I don't think there
would be a lot more corners cut, and restaurants would be fucking gross and a real crapshoot whether or not you're gonna get poisoned there.
Well, what I'm saying is that like these are things that they can be addressed. They don't necessarily need legislation, and what the difficult thing is that if we start legislating it, there needs to be protections that are going to protect smaller developers because they're the ones that are going to be the most impacted by this. It's not going to cost these bigger video game companies that much money to build in what we're asking for.
Then why are they the ones fighting so hard for it?
We actually discussed this earlier. It's because their ability they're losing more than just the money it would take them to develop an end of life. They're also losing their ability to take your video game away, and then they can't sell you a new video game. You're still going to play their old video game. And the last thing publishers want is you to continue playing their game. They want you to they want to get your money, and then they want you to move on to the next game so they can get your money again.
Yeah.
They are not interested in you playing the game for any amount of time. They want you to play it enough that you will buy their next game.
They want you to play it until they come out with the 2, and then they want you to play the 2.
Yeah.
And then play the 2. Don't scratch that itch on that first game. You need to play our next game. I mean, that's been Activision's model or the Call of Duty model for years. They put one out every year. You think they want people playing the old Call of Duty? You need to buy our new Call of Duty. You play this year's Call of Duty.
100%. But that's not. I don't feel like that's what developers want, right? I'm talking about individual developers. Whether they work for a big company.
I'm talking about the broad market.
Yeah, you're talking about publishers, which 100% I agree, and the way that the market is, 100%.
I'm talking about regulating the publishers. I'm talking about regulating developers.
But by regulating the publishers in this manner, you're going to be putting limitations on developers. You could be. I'm not saying you're going to. You could be. Okay. It depends on how things are worded. And
like
how
I feel like you're getting into real fringe cases now on like one guy, Stevie Pete and his 3-man development team is going to be affected by this because now they can't make their live service game that they didn't have an end of life plan for or whatever.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I think that's like if it does affect one person who could be creating something that they were really excited about, and then
But why couldn't that end of life? Why couldn't why couldn't Stevie Pete and his buddies decide to have an end of life plan when they go into making this? Well, if you want to sell your game
again, because there's more than that.
You want to put your game on market.
Because it's not
having an end of life plan. Because it's not just really that big of a deal.
It's not just about having an end of life plan, right? Because
it's not.
If you have just an end of life plan, and that's all that's required of it, then
as is stated by the stop.
We don't know. We don't know what, if anything, the legislation will actually shake out to be.
Well, so what Stop Killing Games is calling for specifically is that games need to be in a playable state and continue to be in a playable state
and have an end of life plan.
Yes. But bottom line, it needs to be in a continued playable state.
At the end of its life, yes.
Yes.
In some playable state. Yes.
Yes.
This means you could have
continued support.
You could have your game with the heroes on it and an arena.
Also, I don't think any legislator, when they look at this, if we get a bill out of this, is going to look at it and be like, "Oh, we should make a company permanently on the hook to support this game."
I'm not saying
even
that.
if that is what. No, you are saying. You're saying that.
I'm not saying that at all.
You're quoting the direct initiative as if that's what's going to be put into law.
That's not what I was saying at all. I was saying that what they're asking for is that the game at the end of its life needs to be in a playable state. I'm not saying that they have to continue to support it.
And you're saying what they're asking for is going to be put into law. Though that's what you're saying, because that's what it says on the initiative, the exact wording on the initiative.
Wait, so you don't want that to be part of the law?
I don't think that games should have to be supported forever. No.
Well,
I think that the wording playable state would need to be like more clearly defined as what playable state means.
No, that's not what I'm arguing right now. I'm not saying that they're calling for it to be supported past the end of life. I'm saying it just needs to. What I'm trying to define, just specifically what they're saying, is that they're asking for an end of life plan where the game is in a playable state at the end of its life. Not that it needs to be continued to be supported.
Yes.
Because I think that's ridiculous. Anybody who wants that, that's a little too much to ask, I think, of anybody.
How is that?
That's not even possible. What if the company goes under? Then who's supporting?
Yeah, exactly.
That's not really that much to ask, though. For a game to remain in a playable state.
No.
It doesn't mean it does not mean that it needs to remain at the same state that it was at launch, which means you have a hero shooter. Okay, let's just because that's most recent in my head. You have a hero shooter. It goes offline, or it gets sundowned, right? Instead of closing it, or even allowing for private servers or whatever, but you allow the game to access the heroes that they have, the costumes that they've bought, and the practice arena. That is enough of a playable state to qualify.
That is by definition a playable state.
Yeah, no.
Nor is it much to ask.
Okay, now
that stuff all already exists.
Now let's look at a small-time developer who they want this feature added into their game. That's they're going to have to buy it. Like, they can either spend a lot of time or to develop this themselves, but it turns out that somebody's already done this and they can buy it on the cheap right now. And they decide, they're going to license some core functionality of the game. Okay? Because that happens all the time. You can buy all these things, AWS, you can buy all these tidbits of code from here and there, all throughout the internet. And small developers, they do this. Sometimes they do this.
So a developer who's contracting their development out, okay.
Yeah. So they decide to do that, and then while they're doing that, it turns out that they can't provide that end of life service because they're not going to have access to the code anymore. Basically, maybe it's going to be too prohibitive to them because they weren't successful. What if they didn't make that much money off of the game? But
I think
they're not going to be able to live up to what they agreed to. Like, maybe it turns out that after a few years,
they couldn't have lived up to it, then they shouldn't have released that game.
So you're saying that
that's why games should have these things should be in place.
Your end of life plan should be thought of.
So you're saying that somebody shouldn't be able to make a game, out of wanting to have fun, creating something because...
Oh, I don't... No. And this is where you're getting it completely wrong. You make whatever game you want. If you're developing a game, awesome. Make whatever game you want. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you make. Games are art, and art can be whatever you want it to be. Now, the minute you sell it to somebody, it needs to be regulated. So you're making
the moment you enter a market. The moment you enter a market.
Also being a product, but when you start making a product, it's regulated. So no, you can't make whatever you want and sell it.
Okay. So just right off the bat, like if somebody wants to make money off of a game that they had fun making, they find that there's potential in it. You know, maybe they originally only made it for themselves, but then somebody's like, "Hey, maybe you should sell this." You're saying that because they didn't have an end of life plan, because maybe it's something small that they just made for themselves.
They would need to figure out a way to do it.
Too bad, yeah. If you want to put it on the market, then yeah, you need to figure out how to have an end of life plan for it. That sounds like an extremely fringe case.
Or on the very least, you in that feature.
Tons of games that started.
Your end of life doesn't have to be at the same state it was at. You have a multiplayer game. It doesn't have to have matchmaking when it ends. You have some sort of contractual thing. Well, maybe it doesn't have that feature anymore.
I
if it's an online thing or something like that, like
I understand that, and I don't necessarily think that what you guys are saying are necessarily wrong, except for the fact that you might just turn off developers from wanting to release a game.
If you can't come up with an end of life game, if you can't come up with an end of life and keep your game around,
yeah, and that's gonna stall out the market. You know, that's gonna.
Most of the developers I've seen have already think about that. There's one guy I watched who did like a puzzle game
right now. What they're putting out.
There's one guy I watched who had like his own little puzzle game, and it was like almost a live service thing. He had planned to update it every month with a new puzzle for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, that got untenable and no longer there. You can't play it on mobile anymore. But what he did is he took all those puzzles and he put them on Steam, all in a little like collection thing. It's not getting updated. It's not getting out. You can't do the leaderboards. You can't do like more than half of the features there. But at least those puzzles are out there and stuff. There is ways, and it might be a struggle at first. And yes, it might deter some people at first from developing, but the only thing it's going to do is make those people think.
Just become the norm.
Well, and what about developers that don't want that? That they look at their game after it's out, and sure, it might have been.
Then I would say that they want their game to die.
Yeah. What if they do? What if they're like, oh, it was mildly successful, but I'm not actually proud of my work. I think I could have done better. Now I know that I could do better. They can take their name off of that game or whatever. If they sold it to somebody, they shouldn't be able to take it away just because they don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that takes agency away from artists.
Yeah, and if they created that product for free,
soon as they
can go ahead and do that. But they're selling
as soon as they put it on the market. As soon as they put it on the market, they let go of those options.
I don't know. I don't think they necessarily inherently let go.
Somebody draws a comic book, they should go. Stan Lee decided he's not. I mean, Stan Lee's ghost decided he doesn't like his work anymore, so he goes and steals a bunch of comic book collections.
Wait, what?
I'm just like, should a comic book artist be able to take everybody's comic books away because they're not proud of the work that they did?
Yeah, okay.
Or they think they could do better?
Well, but that's the thing. Like there have been incidences where artists have tried to buy back their art and get rid of it, right? There's been incidences where developers have stopped releasing their game. Now because they're not proud of it.
Back to their artwork. But the people who already purchased that get to keep that product that they purchased.
So now
anything that got commercialized off of it should still belong to the people who bought it.
No, and I agree.
Unless you sign Ubisoft's new terms of service, where if they pull your license for a game, you actually are required to destroy it.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. And that's what I'm saying is, so now is what we're talking about, that, if do you alone need to be able to continue to play the game that you purchased? And how far does that extend? Does that extend to all multiplayer games? What
do you mean?
Like
me alone? What?
Yeah. Does the person who purchased?
Yeah, it does extend to multiplayer games. They're going to be pretty boring because you won't have anybody playing with you. But yeah, you can still play it.
Yeah.
And I mean, is it that you should
also none of this
the people who
also
purchase the game
it's
continue to play
subscription
them.
services either.
Also, none of this applies to subscription games nor free to play.
Yeah. So if you do launch your game in that state, then you can still do all of this stuff.
I mean, but why not subscription games?
Because
it's a different license.
They're upfront about what you're getting. You pay for X amount of time of subscription. You get X amount of time of subscription.
So
I know when my Netflix
ends. If it's upfront that that you might not be able to play the game in X amount of time, like what Ubisoft is saying. This is what's part
but
of
companies
the
aren't
agreement.
upfront about that. They obfuscate that.
But if they are,
Constantly.
you're saying that it's okay.
Yes, I would say if companies were upfront about
at the very least, that would be the least to ask.
Then
yeah,
I would be okay with that.
That would be the very least thing we could get from killing games.
If I had to guess, that's probably how this regulation will shake out. They will just be required to have a tag that says, a prominent label that says, "We're selling you a license. We reserve the right to pull this from you at any time for any reason."
Yeah.
This is a subscription-based license.
But that should be that shouldn't be buried in the terms and agreements that you scroll through real quick and agree to. That should be clearly advertised.
But that's
one of the things.
Yes, that's a regulation that I would like to see come out of this.
I don't think that does enough. I think
it does enough. No, but that is the bare.
I would like to see more than that, but
that's the bare minimum we could ask for.
I don't think that's the bare minimum. I think that's below the bare minimum.
I feel like we got a better chance of getting that than like the EU actually going and disrupting the market as much as I would like them to do.
Agreed. I do 100% agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my point is,
and there might be like a rough patch. There might be a rough patch to start when, if we got all this regulation, all hypothetical here, we got all this regulation. Yeah, sure, there would probably be a rough patch for a lot of developers, big industry, all the way down.
It's going to be harder for smaller,
and
developers.
It would be harder. It would obviously, because the harder it is, the harder it's going to be.
Yeah, but we can't keep the video game market being the Wild West of like unregulated capitalism.
Not when the bigger people will not be regulated without the stick. They're clearly not going to regulate themselves.
Honestly,
especially if it's going to cost any money.
When they increased regulate recently, and I think this is a good like simile to what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, here in our state, they've been trying to like get their. I'm going to talk about restaurant health inspection again, but just in the terms of regulating a product and how it's going to affect people. Recently, they've been digging in on the health codes. They've been trying to be better about all their health code stuff here in the state. So they have increased. They're now requiring anyone who works in a restaurant to have a food license, which costs $10 a person to get a license for. You have to get it. You take a test online. You got to do it through the state. Okay. Smaller businesses are having a lot more trouble paying that. They don't have like $10 extra an employee there to pay. They got razor thin profit margins already. It hurts smaller businesses more. Do I think that makes that regulation bad? No. That regulation needs to exist. Shit's been kind of fucked up here in the state with health inspections anyway. I know, I've worked in the restaurant industry. I see what way with. There was a couple years straight where they just weren't doing fucking health inspections. That was a few years back. They're really tightening it up now, but no, I think those regulations should all be in place. Did they have a negative effect and a disproportionately negative effect on smaller business owners? Yes, and that's unfortunate. And I prefer to support small businesses over, big corporate change. You think McDonald's gives a fuck? That's chump change to them. It ain't nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure they fought against it too. It does cost them money, but
yeah.
It's the smaller restaurants that are affected a lot more by that, and or even the ones that I mean that'll come down to even just fucking over employees, because some restaurants just won't even pay for the employee to get that. They'll just be like, that's a requirement now, and then you have to pay to get that test done.
Yep. Yeah.
But I mean, I think even though it's negatively affecting smaller businesses and even down to the individual employee, I think that regulation should be in place. I agree with it. Although I think employers should be required to pay for it.
I think that would be better too.
But I mean, it's really one of the scummiest ones that don't.
So, I mean, I don't want to say that these are necessarily things that shouldn't happen. I'm saying that, what Stop Killing Games is about is that they're starting the conversation. And it's a foot in the door, yeah. I mean, you can't get... I mean, boomers in politics don't even know what the fuck a video game is. They don't know how to regulate that market. They don't understand anything about it. Well, yeah, no, it's the same. It's there's another part to this, which I don't want to get into right now, but this has more to do with software, corporate software policies and laws than it actually does video games, because the practices that are going on here in video games, it's been around in software for a very, very long time. Selling licenses for Windows to businesses. Yeah, exactly. It's your business license. It's a huge issue. That is a huge market too. Yeah, and has been for quite a long time. And I feel like if this was positioned more, it's just the fact that it's software and video games are a part of that software, because that's how they're usually treated legally, anyways. It would probably get better attention, but that's neither here or there. But what Pirate Games, you could broaden it by just talking about software. Yeah, exactly. But what Pirate Software is doing is he's directly starting to continue that conversation that Stop Killing Games is actually asking for. And these are the things that look at the sort of conversation that we've had right now, trying to figure out, where do these lines start up, where do they end? Nobody has a clear answer right now. That's what legislative committees are for. Exactly. But these are things that, if they start coming up in these legal spaces, that people need to be aware of. And let's face it, people usually aren't aware of important laws starting to get passed through, let alone this sort of stuff. Sorry, not to bring this to any drama and stuff, but based off of what I've seen from Pirate Software, those are indeed not his arguments or anything of the such. What do you mean? His biggest thing that he said numerous times and then proceeded to shit talk. Stop Killing Games. His shit talking is absolutely stupid, but continue. His arrogance and tripling and doubling down is one of the reasons I've never liked him. But he was hardcore against any regulation done. That was his line, was government in video games at all. Period. He said that. I understand people not wanting words. That. I really do. And we just explained why that's not a tenable thing. Yeah, but I also can't. I don't want to say that it's not understandable. Yeah, restaurant owners don't want health inspections, but kind of necessary. Yeah, but I no business owner wants the regulations, but you know who does? The customers. Yeah. The people who need to be protected. No, and I understand that 100%. But I do also understand where he's coming from and why he would say something like that. The perspective that he is speaking on. That's why I said. That's also why I started off with the caveat that he's also paying attention to Western, and that's coming from a lot of Western. Yeah. His Western philosophies on government and stuff, and also because he's not a consumer. Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, he also is, but he is. We all are. Yeah. At some point, we all are. But no, he plays video games too. But he is.
yeah, he's part of the problem, not part of the solution. He's the one he is a developer.
Also, a lot of the things brought
he is
up
getting negatively affected
and
by
things to
any
keep-
legislation in the video games.
Yeah.
and things to keep in mind about this, regardless of what happens with Stop Killing Games, is no game is going to be like grandfathered in. If the game is out and
No,
it
no,
already
that wouldn't make
it's
sense.
not going to be required
Yeah.
to have any
That would
of
be
this
way
now.
too difficult. You're
It's dumb
talking about.
to think. I've heard it, so I'm putting it out there.
I haven't
I've heard their
that.
argument.
But that,
I've heard the
that wouldn't make
argument.
sense.
It's a dumb argument.
Yeah.
I've also heard the argument that this isn't really that big of a deal. That games aren't being killed off. That's also a bold lie. They killed the crew and took it away from people's library.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like if you had it downloaded, it was still there. Also, things to keep in mind, this isn't talking that developers have to come and keep up to date if some new computer hardware comes out and now your game is unplayable. That is a normal thing that happens. That's dying of old age. It's not your fault or your responsibility.
If the game was popular enough, someone's going to come along and get a mod out there that'll fix it.
Someone's going to get it going. Like, fine.
Or you can get a mod that fix it. All we're asking is the devs, when they stop supporting the game, give the players the tools to fix their game.
It's a stop killing. It's not the don't let die. It's not, like, we understand, like, I think all of it comes from a sense, like, we understand that degradation and stuff's going to happen. We don't expect you to 100% come of it. And then some of the excuses that are flying around, I do want to address, especially from, I think it was the European Gaming Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, they address security, that it would be like a risk for the customers as they try and paint it. And again, no one's asking you at a certain point, if you've sundowned your game, you're at end of life, which means you have released responsibility for your game. You shouldn't be held responsible for then damages or, someone does with that program. Whether it be some scamming or whatever they're afraid of in the security space there. That once you sundown it, no longer becomes your responsibility. You've let go of that.
Well, I mean,
that legal ramifications. Your security that you've put in place isn't there anymore. If someone else wants to run your program still, they must be aware of that.
Well, but there's extra arguments that go into that. Again, there's nuances to all of this, right? Like, what if somebody decides, oh, this is a really popular game, and they're supposed to be a trusted person on the team, but what if they put in a back door? If you're absolving
nuances, these are fringe cases.
This is hypotheticals.
This happens all the time.
This is what
now.
ifs.
No, this is an active problem in software development, because you have people who are supposed to be trusted who are putting in these back doors into software, and it's a huge issue that happens now.
And once you've released once you've closed once you've said your game is done, we are no longer developing or doing anything, updating, we are closing this game.
Mm-hmm.
You are then, anything that happens after that point,
you're completely,
if people want to download
the company,
you're also once you basically, because you've stopped supporting it, you're no longer responsible for the security of that. I'm no longer responsible for cleaning a house once I move out of the house.
Yeah, but I mean, you're responsible for cleaning the house when it's, when you're leaving, right?
When you're leaving, which means you
But you're saying it doesn't matter.
That also needs to be understandable. Like, people who are using the software that is closed need to understand also that there's not that security, and that will come down to I don't know what, but that's no longer the business's responsibility, nor should they be legally held responsible.
I don't think anybody would. These are
damage is done
these are the things that would
after
like
the fact.
wouldn't make it out of committee. Like these things would never be even like no one would ever legislate it that way.
Yeah,
A couple of dorks like us are able to sit here and figure out, oh, that's a bad idea. Then it's definitely not going. It's definitely going to
You're not going to be held legally responsible for your game for all eternity. Especially if you're taking it off your own servers and stuff. If people start putting up their own private servers and stuff, that legal responsibility gets way without you.
I understand that, but I mean, all it takes is for this to be an issue once, and then what happens? You know,
it gets legislated.
We review the legislation.
This is what, like in America, we have the Supreme Court.
But then what's the answer
like what
to
we
it?
do.
So
this is what all legal law is based off of.
Yeah, but what's the answer? Is the whole thing here? Like you have a chance to stop it beforehand to legislate it the correct way.
Yes, which will probably be worked out. Like I said, that's a wholly French case, anyways. Like,
I mean, this is the kind of thing they bring in, experts for and stuff. But
and then that would be added again.
This is what they're going to have. They're going to have a committee and talk to a bunch of people about.
Would probably be something worded. Would also something probably be worded.
How to implement it without, causing problems like this.
It'd also be probably worded and added into any user agreement that we sign.
You're wondering how it's going to get figured out. It's going to get figured out in legislation. That's the point of this.
It's the only reason to. Yeah. The only place for it to really get figured out.
But just asking. But now you're asking. The whole thing that's going on is they're like, sit down and have this conversation.
Yeah, but you guys are saying here that this is an issue that needs to be, worried about at all. You're saying it's a fringe case. It's not going to happen. It's not a big deal. But then when it affects somebody, you're basically saying we don't need to worry about it. We don't need to worry about any sort of security issues. That's not actually an issue. So. Forget about it.
I didn't say not worry about. Hey, no, wait. No. I didn't say don't worry about security issues. I said that the company is no longer responsible for that security. You, as the person who owns the company, are responsible for your own security at that point.
Yeah, but that's what
especially when you start putting up private servers and stuff.
But if you're not if you're not requiring source code to be handed over. It just needs to be in a playable state. You're asking all these people who, will be able to access the games that aren't going to know any better what to look at to be put at risk.
Why would they not know any better? If you don't know any better, then you're at risk. That's just how the world works.
Yeah, but you're basically saying that
if I don't know that fire is hot, then I'm at risk of burning myself.
Yeah. But you're saying that companies don't have to do anything at all in order to protect those people. You can just release this out into the world, and they're not going to be held responsible for it. And
there's already regulations for that. What are you talking about?
No, but that's what Christian is saying here is that they won't have any responsibility.
Oh, after they sunset their game.
Yeah,
sunset their game and have no longer.
Yeah, why would they?
But that's the thing. So if there is something inside of there,
if they're not selling the game anymore, then I don't think they're legally liable for that game anymore.
So we don't. But so what you're saying is that if there is something inside of the what they released to everyone that does have something malicious in it, because they're not selling it anymore, and if it was a really popular game. And all of these people get infected.
I'm hearing a lot of what ifs, but okay, go on.
Yeah, but these things.
Every what if you say makes this a more fringe case, but I suppose, yeah.
But, yeah,
we'll play this out.
As soon as if this happens, like this can be a huge issue. All of these users could be infected with some sort of virus.
So you're telling me that an insanely popular game comes out, and it's insanely popular, and a company sunsets it.
Yeah.
So they have an insanely popular game that they decided to sunset. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll go with that. That happens.
Okay. So.
So yeah, then go ahead. They pull it from the storefronts. They're not. The game's not for sale anymore.
Mm-hmm.
you know, hey, we're big announcement, everybody, sunset of the game. We won't be supporting it anymore.
Let's go with like the ultimate case.
I don't think they're
here's all the source code
anymore for that game. Like, yeah,
how would they?
Yeah, how would that? Yeah, but who would you even? I mean, at that point, like, what if the company's
going after an individual?
What if the company's just
going after an individual?
We're cashing out. We're done. Like, who do you even go after? Like, who is responsible at that point? That company doesn't even exist anymore. Who would you go after? Who would be even legally be on the hook for that?
I mean, I don't know. Like, but to say that you just absolve these companies completely as soon as they decide
from it until they decide to, if they're not selling the product anymore, then
and if someone put in a malicious code,
be regulated.
If someone put in a malicious code,
it's not about the
that
fact
doesn't absolve them. That person could still be held liable.
Yeah, and
I'm pretty sure there's already laws for that.
Yeah, but
and not to mention, as far as risk,
wait.
As far as risk of malware and shit.
Hold on. What you guys are saying here is that this all boils down to who's responsible for whatever. When the fact that these laws should be in place so that we prevent things, right?
I don't think I've seen it boils down to who's responsible for whatever, because I don't understand what you mean by that.
Also, when it comes to laws, we put down to try and prevent, and then we redefine as cases happen, which is case law, and which is why we use it so much, because we need those definitions.
It's going to take
be further and further refined.
Yeah, but why are we not trying to protect the end users who are the ones who are going to be using these products after the fact?
This is about consumer protection.
Yeah, but you're not
It's also about
them
rights.
from viruses
themselves.
or
we can't protect them from themselves. You're right.
Not from themselves.
I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, anytime I get online, anytime I do anything with an online thing, I am at risk and must know this and must do things to protect myself. If I'm doing things at greater risk, I'm putting myself at greater risk.
Yeah, if I'm playing,
how is that any different?
If I'm playing
regardless of game or whatever I'm doing.
Expecting that anyway. But, if I was to get onto a private WoW server now, I'd expect cheating to be rampant at best.
What I'm saying is you're saying that it's okay for these companies to not care about that.
What I'm asking now is who is responsible right now for my risk?
I'm saying
I'm running right now.
Held. I'm saying who would be legally liable for it after they sunset the game. I mean, what? I don't see how Stop Killing Games has shit to do with shit about this anyway. Like, what is Stop Killing Games doing that would cause companies to get away with it? To like let this malicious code in there because they can't just remove their products whenever. I feel like they'd catch this malicious code before they sunset it.
But it doesn't matter whether they do or not, because once they sunset it, they're not held responsible for it.
And if the company collapses, who's held responsible?
Yeah, if the company closed, then no one's held responsible for it either.
I mean, people could still be held responsible for it even after a company closes.
And so could individuals in the other case.
Yeah.
If someone put in malicious code, that person is still responsible.
That person
is still legally held liable.
Yeah, but that's the individual person. You're not putting in protections for people. You're saying the company doesn't have to worry about that. But, if it happens that there is some code in there that somebody maliciously put in.
They already don't.
Who was with the company.
What happens with it now?
They already don't. There's
understand
no difference right now.
Killing Games
there is.
Changes it though. Tell me, how does Stop Killing Games change that? I don't understand. I don't understand what the logic is here. What's the ABC here?
I was answering Christian's question that it is different right now. The way that if you can sue a company if they have malicious code that one of their employees has inserted into their software.
Okay, and if that company is no longer around,
is held liable. if that company is no longer around, then it falls on whoever's name was part of that company, who the owners or the shareholders of it. That's the way that it works.
Okay, yeah, I don't see how we need to change any of those laws.
That's just no different.
Yeah, I don't see what changes about this.
If they allowed a malicious code to go out there, that's different.
The user
Christian,
can
shut up. I'm trying to see what freaky. I'm trying to get this explained to me. I'm trying to understand.
Yeah. The user right now can sue the company, right? Forget about whether if it's a dissolved company. If it's a company right now in existence that no longer supports their software, their video game, whatever it may be, there is no malicious code inside a company. And this can even happen after the fact, that they didn't even know that it was malicious, but they don't take any, if it was popular enough, they didn't take any responsibility to patch the code, even though it's no longer supported, quote unquote. A user can still sue that company because they were negligent because of their software, right? That's the way that it boils down to. That's what they could do currently today here in the United States. But what I think you are saying,
that would still be the case, right?
No, what you guys are saying is that with this is that as soon as that game is sunsetted, it's out there for people to have in a quote unquote playable state, then it doesn't matter what happens with that code. They won't. Nobody will be
inserting that malicious code into there.
Who knows who is inserting it? But it's the company's responsibility at this point. The way things are.
If you've let go of the game, okay. Here's my point, and I guess the point that I was making. If it came from before the game was sunset, then yes, you're probably held responsible, much like it is now. But if someone after the fact, my point is if you experience the safety concerns that seem to be the core that I was talking about, or your typical online safety when it comes to running private servers and shit now, like it's no different now. If you're doing WoW private servers, you have to know that this is against the company's user, and so therefore you are no longer with any of the protections and security that comes with.
Okay, so let's look at Minecraft as an example, right? Minecraft allows people to run their own private servers. Yeah. So if Minecraft all of a sudden, let's say it wasn't somebody who works for Minecraft or Microsoft, but somehow some code got into their system. Let's say that they were hacked, and they weren't aware that they were distributing this code out to users, right? As soon as they find out about it, they would need to patch it, right? That's just what their responsibility would be. Even if they said, you're running this code at your own risk, they now have a responsibility, because now that they are aware of the issue, that
still selling that game though.
But let's say that they decide to stop selling it.
Yeah, they're selling a product. They need to.
Yeah, let's say they stop
support it. Yeah, they're still on the legal horn for it.
If they decide to stop selling it tomorrow, they still do have a responsibility if it were to come out in a month, in a year. That hey, it turns out.
Well, what's the end? What's the end cycle for that? How long is the company on the horn for after they stop supporting it?
It could be a few years. It really depends. There's a lot of factors that go into it. But with Minecraft, I think it's big enough. It's wide enough. There's so many people selling or using private servers that I think that
which is why they'd probably never drop that game.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying
fine. I'm going with his hypothetical here, but continue.
Huh?
I was trying to understand that. I understand. I do understand what you're saying, but I think these things would all get shaken out in
I
committee
think
anyway.
most
Like
of
I
it
don't
would
think they would set up
I think
it
most
in
of it
such
would
a way
still
that
be the
you
kind
wouldn't
of
be
way.
able to still deal with that in the way you were before.
Yeah, I mean,
My point was
hopefully
is that
these
it
things
wasn't really going to change from what it is now. If a company dies, if things go down, like there's always a risk to running private stuff.
There is, but I think if you're going to start doing this sort of stuff, you need to minimize that risk for people who don't know otherwise. I think that that's important.
Companies
I don't disagree
should already
that it's
be
not
doing
important.
that. I agree that it's important, but companies should already be doing that. I don't.
They should be, but by saying, "Oh well, you know what, your security isn't an issue once you sunset your game," you're giving them a path to not care and check the code.
I mean, well, I'm saying that because I didn't understand all these, but I didn't understand all these nuances to it. I doubt that when they're drafting any legislation for it, they're going to
Go wildly different than that.
do this, to have problems like this.
Well,
It seemed like more like software things, but
If it's found something was left in there and there was negligence before you sundown your game, then yeah, like someone needs to be held responsible
for. Yeah,
but you were just saying
But
that
if
that
someone
doesn't
after
matter.
the
Christian,
fact-
you were saying that like
that is literally not what I
after
was
the fact-
fucking saying.
After the fact, after it's been sunsetted, if this
After.
is found out. Yeah.
You went and chose a little hypothetical of, if this was found, that they did it. The malicious software was found
That's what I'm
after
saying.
the fact. Of course, that's already a law, though. Why would that change? Why would this change that? It wouldn't.
that's what I was trying
You called out a niche law that I don't know.
figure out.
Because what you're saying I'm calling that out because of exactly what you were saying, is that even if it's an issue that's found after the fact, that is on the onus of the person who
someone is going. My whole thing was your security, which, much like in private servers and everything now, if you're going to go off your license user agreement, if you're going to jailbreak your phone, you no longer have the securities. Point. That's it. And it's no different when you sundown a game and you're running those private servers on your own. That company doesn't need to keep up with fucking updating their game and making sure that now no one else has put in any new code. Also, I don't think, especially with like the way they want to do sundowning and having different end of life plans, that for those big games that would be online and at risk like that anyways, that they would probably go to the extreme of releasing a source code. Taking into all the extremes of the things. Like I said, it just needs to be in some state, even if it's just a practice mode with my one characters and I can't play with anybody. That's still a playable state in some way. Is it kind of like a mausoleum for its own self? Yeah, but at least it's there.
No, again, I think that's pointless, though. That's like
The playable state. It would be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a playable
it would be what
state,
and kind of what people are asking for.
but I think that misses the point of what people want.
No, that's
right?
entirely the point of what I mean. Entirely the point of the Stop Killing Games movement is just have
It boils
games
down to
in
that.
a playable state. They don't need to be. They could be museum pieces.
They don't need to have the matchmaking. They don't need to have any of that. Really. At the end of the day, it really wants you to just have a plan before you go to market.
But is that what people want out of this?
Your plan could be to tell everybody,
I'm just saying,
we are going to sell you this game and end this game. It will no longer be doing anything or available at this time.
I understand
If you boldly put that in the front, that's an end-of-life plan.
But is that what people want out of this initiative?
no one's going to get everything they want out of this initiative. And that's also, people want different things out of it.
People want different things, yeah.
People are expecting different things. But at the end of the day, from Homeboy himself, the boiling line down is in a playable state. And he has gone on to explain numerous times in his streams that it's okay if that means you have a practice arena with the heroes available at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's not much. That's not asking much.
No, it isn't.
And then labeling, that's a big thing people want to see out of this, is the proper labeling for what you're actually buying, instead of hiding the fact that you're just buying a user license.
But see, so what you described, and I think this, comes back to Pirate Software's point, is that it's hard to find out exactly what the end goal is being asked for from Stop Killing Games.
Well,
I don't think so. I think he's explained it pretty well, as I just put having
in a video,
life plan
in a video and whatnot. And that's the thing, is that a lot of these answers that I found of what
because
he's actually asking
it's an
for,
initiative. It's not. I mean, you could ask for the world on this initiative. It doesn't. It's
yeah.
This is just to get these things talked about. It's not.
Yeah. No, but that's
whatever he's asking for in the initiative is not what will be in the bill.
Yeah,
if we get a bill for.
But I think that's what I'm saying, is that's the issue where Pirate Software, like, he didn't see any of that. So there's a lot of, I think there are a lot of accusations that he was quote unquote misrepresenting the Stop Killing Games initiative, right? I don't think he was doing it intentionally. I think, if you're trying to find out what the goal
Pirate
was.
Software's first video.
Double down on it.
Pirate Software's first video about the whole thing wasn't disrespectful. He talked about it
disrespectful.
He's called it like ass.
Yeah, he was a little disrespectful.
And his first video wasn't really that bad. Not any more than like most.
No, his later ones were way worse for sure. Yeah.
Later on, when he's asked and called out about some of the things that he misread into, and it could honestly have misread or misinterpreted, and people came to him with that at that angle, and his response was to double down, and then his response was to go way overboard like he likes to do, and be like, "Fuck that. Government shouldn't have anything to do with games and all this."
No, I understand, but what I'm saying is that
disagree with him on
the initial argument of what he was saying, though. I think that's, he was coming from a place of misunderstanding.
Like I said, his initial argument had some merit, but
he was kind of still reading that stuff as like, as like, oh wait, this is. They're going to just write this into law if people sign this initiative.
He was taking things a little bit about face value, and that's...
Well, and I think that's still where a lot of people are, too, is that, a lot of the videos that I've seen talking about what's going on...
It's a misunderstanding of how the system works.
Yeah, at the end
of the day.
You can't help people not understanding how governments work. These people not take government in high school? that ain't my fault.
It's not high school over there.
Smarten up.
What do they call it over there? I don't know.
Lay high school. I don't fucking know.
High school.
I think a lot of people still don't understand what the initiative is actually about, and they're not going to get what they're thinking that this is. I think, like I said, Andrew has a lot of points on here. It's like,
I think there is a lot of, and I think a lot of there's, Pirate Software, and no small part is responsible for a lot of the misinformation out there. I'm all for like, I'm all for streamers being streamers and stuff, but I'm usually not too big on this, but when you get that big, I feel like you do have a responsibility to be giving like good information to your audiences.
Like, trying your best.
Yeah, at least trying to. Yeah,
And then if
I'm not
proven
gonna,
wrong,
I'm not gonna expect everybody to be perfect all the time or whatever, but at the same time, you should be like you. I feel like you do have a bit of a responsibility to be like I mean, even we don't have an audience for shit, but we try and make sure the stuff we're talking about is accurate.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I feel like if you've got an audience of like, a few million subscribers, you should probably be making even more damn sure talking accurate.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree 100%.
Instead of getting that misinformation out there, there's a lot of normies that are just going to go off of that thing that they heard from that guy, and that's all they'll ever know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is important to note that all the points that Andrew brought up today are where it's going to go. Like, it's going to be talked about. It's going to be figured out outside of this.
Well, I mean, not just
part of this needed to remain vague in order.
It's probably going to fail in committee, and even whatever ends up happening is going to be pretty.
But it's good that the conversation's being had.
Yeah,
it might not be nearly enough, but the most, one of the least things we could possibly get out of this that's hopeful is better labeling on what we're purchasing.
That's true.
It's not enough. Not even close.
It really isn't. But I mean, I think
at least it's
if there's a big sticker on there, whatever it may be, that says, "Oh yeah, this is an online only game," and so services could be cut off at any time.
There are games that are clear about that.
Yeah,
but it's the problem. I mean, like a lot of people's problems were they're pulling like people's games that aren't even online. Like most people go into think about Helldivers and or Helldivers 2, and I know that someday they're not going to run that game anymore. And I bought it. This was before the whole Stop Killing Games initiative or anything. I bought it knowing full well that someday, although I mean they're going 10 years strong on supporting Helldivers 1. Still play that. So it's a company that I trust will support the game for a while.
Who knows? They might even end up in a end of life.
Yeah, they might put out some sort of.
That might not be much, but hey, they might.
I might still be able to do. There might be some sort of give me some LAN options, a couple of maps, whatever. I'm not gonna get anything new coming out from them, but that's fine. Let me keep playing those war bonds that I bought from you guys.
Well, I just hope that they recorded some of the way that this works, so that you can have campaigns, right? Can you imagine that? Like in the future, you want to relive it, you go through the campaign of the scenario that happened previously.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah,
that'd be really cool. But even I would play that. I would still probably play this game if it was just like a planet for each of the different enemy types that you could go to. And it's just like you, and maybe even do some player to player stuff where you could LAN party it with 4 of your buddies. That'd be fun. Yeah. I'd play that. That'd be way more that would be acceptable for me for end of life.
But even I bought that game already understanding that this is online only. If if they do eventually decide,
there feels a difference between that and Call of Duty, where Call of Duty also requires online and all that, but
it's got a single player and stuff.
But it's got a single player. I can go play.
Do they even have campaigns for Call of Duty anymore? Is that a boomer thing right here?
No, the new ones
not know about. Should kids not know about Call of Duty campaigns?
The new one's got some campaigns in them, I heard.
Okay.
So it's got the campaign, and I can go play zombies or something by myself, and don't even need to be online for that. But Helldivers, clearly I'm gonna need to be online for that one. I can't help that. That doesn't have an offline mode, and I know that going in, knew what I was buying. So I mean, I'd still like to see a bit more clear label that this game will end and might not have a playable state at end. Even if something like that happens, I don't know. And there's so little that I could even accept, just because any step forward seems like some progress.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's mostly it's companies doing stuff where I mean the with the crew and stuff. The thing that Stop Killing Games specifically points to is companies removing my access to single player games that I have a lot more of a problem with.
Especially
if it's a multiplayer only online game, even if it isn't like a subscription model, like I know someday that game's going to go away. I mean, it would suck if that game went away within 6 months of launch, like games do these days. But
yeah, I mean, it's
so I'm going to do my research and be like, I'm only going to get these online only games from companies that I trust to support that game for a while. So I got Darktide because Vermintide 2 was supported forever, and I think like this year they put out their last DLC for the game. It's still supported, yeah. They're still putting out content for it. So I got Darktide because I trust that company too. They're three games deep now on live service games. I got Helldivers 2, knowing like okay, their first game they've supported their first game forever. I had a little less faith in them because their second game was a little bit different than Helldivers 2 is kind of different. It's not a top-down shooter anymore. I also, when I got that game, I didn't, probably no one else either knew it was going to blow up the way that it did. I figured it would have the same draw as like Darktide or any other, a co-op extraction shooter.
Yeah.
Look, man, don't blame the game for being nearly as fun as it is and spreading managed democracy is one of the most important things, okay?
But what the fuck is that time? I lost the thread of what I was rambling about. I was yapping.
No, it's good. I mean, this whole conversation is good to have. It's good to get out there. At the end of the day, we need to remember that it's going to take a long time. And we don't know what we're going to get at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We can ask for everything in the world, but
I think the important thing here is that for the people who really care about where this initiative is going, and this is really only going to matter to the people in the UK, but I mean,
what they decide to do is going to affect the entire video game.
Yeah,
market.
but it's, the people in the UK are the only one who's going to be able to make suggestions to
assign an initiative or anything. Yeah.
So
nobody's getting this stuff through in the US. Trust me.
Yeah.
Although it is something to note that we weren't able to get on it in time. It's something that I would have noted when the thing was actually before it had reached its goal, which was this wasn't a petition. This is definitely more than a petition.
Oh yeah.
This does force Parliament to have a discussion about it.
Yeah, it's not like it is in the US where it's like, oh, this could be brought up and then just ignored.
Yeah,
they have to address it.
Yeah, petitions here they've made sure aren't really much of anything. They can choose.
Yeah.
We choose nothing.
You need somebody, like, if you want any hope of a movement,
you need to take that petition to somebody bigger.
Yeah, they need to
state
start writing a bill to present to.
And you do,
whomever.
You need to get that petition along with a whole plan forward to some state representative you got.
Yeah, you can still bring the petition to your state rep, but then that's just gonna get your foot in the door.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to have something else. You need to have a plan ready.
You better, your state rep better already like you or something, or right. Golfing buddies or so. Or you better have donated considerably to his campaign fund. That's how you get.
I've heard walking in with a suitcase. I've heard walking in with a suitcase handcuffed to your wrist.
What the fuck did Paramount just say? That's the bride price now, right?
That's
14 million.
14.
I think was
that sounds right.
And one late night talk show host.
And a late night talk show host. Yeah.
Holy cow!
Sorry, we got to yapping about. We just. Right. The whole rest of the podcast got to yapping about Stop Killing Games.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. Because I mean, I've just been playing Rivals and
Ugh.
Oblivion. I'm still having tons of fun with Rivals. I mean, I don't take it seriously, so it is like
I'd love to have some fun with it, but losing 10 times in like 2 days has been
that's fair.
rough.
I know. That's
fucking
not.
rough. That's like my biggest fucking lose streak since the game came out. I can literally look. I looked yesterday at the whole like
At your whole
my
list.
whole history list. It is the biggest like just straight loss streak I've ever experienced in my life in the game.
Yeah, I think we only won one after that. After you guys got off.
Big surprise. I tried. I wanted to stick it out to try and win one, but it's like getting to 10 o'clock. I was like, I can't fucking go. I'm done.
Yeah,
I want to like that game, but it makes it so difficult.
And yeah, other than that, playing a little bit of Oni here and there. It's my relaxing game. But I haven't picked up anything new, so I really, really need to go to Claire Obscura. I really, really want to play that game once this house shit is done. But yeah. You guys want to mention anything? We should probably end it. We're at 2 hours and 20 minutes. So.
Let's see. Yeah.
Our longest yet.
How long were we offline for, though?
Right?
I think we're still behind on time. That we need this.
That's true.
No, I would say since the last time I have watched and played like a whole bunch of stuff, but notable things that I would suggest people check out. Murderbot.
Yeah, Murderbot slaps.
Mm-hmm.
Murderbot with Alexander Skarsgård is fantastic. The full season's out now. They got renewed for season 2, and if you're one of those people, there's definitely no like cliffhangers or anything in it. The season 1 could have very well been its only season, and it would have been a perfect show. So I'm excited to see what they do with season 2. Games wise, I'm playing this Dystopia and building a cool cyber city. That's what I've been doing for the podcast.
Yeah.
And that's fairly fun.
This looks interesting.
It's really just, there is no, like, instructions or anything. They just kind of give you your paint tools of like building a little city. And you can protest. You can make really cool wallpapers and stuff with it.
Yeah, I did.
But you can just like choose.
I'll do it again.
You can just choose buildings and then just go and like sprinkle a bunch of buildings around.
It's barely a video game, but it's really fun.
It's much like that Tiny Glade that I've played on here before.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
It's like Tiny Glade, but with a cyberpunk city instead of a
Yeah.
With doing like a giant city instead of like, you know, building each little house and stuff like the Glade. So it's like that, just on a Tiny Glade on a bigger scale and sci-fi.
Some of the mods let you get a little bit more into the details on it.
Oh yeah, that's what I was wondering.
There's a lot of modding. There's a lot of modding.
Yeah,
I'm actually running.
there's a bit.
But, yeah, that's
They do
not
photo contests that allow mods. They put the list of mods that are allowed in the photo contest.
Oh, that's cool.
Specifically like Steam Workshop content, but I might have to get in on one of those photo contests.
Right.
But yeah, it's mostly for making like screensavers and wallpapers, whatever else.
Just do like a bunch of cool stuff. There's
probably clipped together a video, just like cruising around the city or something. There's some like like slow, because you can record video on it too. Get like camera angles and stuff, and have like swooping cameras over stuff. Do something like that for
yeah, and you can get really close to the inner workings of your city.
Nice.
Yeah, you can zoom in pretty close for pictures and stuff. I've seen some people they'll put like they'll put like a balcony like insert on their screen, so it looks like they're like walking to the edge of a balcony, and then looking out on the actual recording of the game.
That's cool.
I've also seen people do it with they'll put like a spaceship or like a little flying car like cockpit or something, and then like fly the camera around. They'll just put like the cockpit on an overlay. So there's some neat ways you can like cut video together on.
Yeah.
It's made me kind of want to get wallpaper engine on Steam. Because that lets you have animated wallpapers. It's one of the programs that does that, because Windows doesn't do that natively.
Nope.
Gotta do third-party software to do that.
There's so much that Windows doesn't do that it's just part of your cell phone.
Right? Yes. Yeah. You would think like animated wallpaper that it would be able to handle.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
No. Windows is really bad with wallpapers. I remember reading somewhere that like Windows is so bad at implementing like rotating images for wallpapers, and like so I decided to watch my like system usage. My system actually comes down to a fucking crawl when wallpapers change. I think it's because I have two 4K screens, so it's like, yeah, it's like trying to do a lot. Yeah, but it's just like, it shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, it should be a little bit streamlined, window.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking Microsoft. But yeah, no, this thing looks cool. Might have to check it out.
Yeah, it's super fun little art game. You can see there's just all kinds of pieces, and then like within all those pieces, you can change everything about them. You can change like the way the little blimps look.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's super fun. Other than that, we've been playing Satisfactory. It's been a lot of fun. Which I think we're gonna play later today.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably. I don't think. I mean, unless something else came up, but I've just been here with you guys, so
yeah.
I don't think anything else came up. You guys are the people I know, so. I don't know if that's up with you guys.
Yeah, definitely not.
Nope.
Yeah, that's better for me.
Okay.
I could just you just recommended Murderbot. Didn't watch anything else that you liked?
Well, I said I was just boiling down. There was a lot of stuff I've watched and stuff. I just don't want to take a long time, so.
Fair enough.
Just pointed out the highlights, which was Murderbot. And then I'll talk about the game that I'm playing.
Oh, this game I'm playing is Shapes 2, and it's a factory game, and that's all you need to know, really. This is the game. Yeah, automate everything. It's conveyor belts. I want trains and fluids, and I mean it's a factory game.
Yeah,
it looks nice. It's pretty new. It's still in early access. I think I got it on sale for like $15 or something during the Automation Fest that I think is still going on. So
I think it is. Yeah.
Oh no, I got it for 15 because I already own Dyson Sphere. That's why. Right. Yeah. Which I love that Steam has been doing. When Steam started doing this, I don't think we were talking. Steam now will let you buy the discount price of games and bundles if you own the other games and bundles. You just have to buy the one game at the even deeper discount price.
Oh, really?
I've used it a few times now to get games like even cheaper. Like I'll see them on sale and go look at it, and then it'll be like on sale even cheaper in a bundle. but the only thing in the bundle is that game because I already own whatever else was in that bundle. Yeah, so I've saved some money on a few games like that. I don't know when that didn't used to be the case, but I don't know when Steam started doing that. Love that they do that though.
Right.
You keep doing you, Steam.
Indeed. Where does this vortex go to?
Oh, that's just that goes. Let's check. I guess that's as close as I can get to it.
That's the edge of the universe.
That's where you put stuff in. That's your input. All these things that I gotta put in there. That's where they gotta go. So everything that I'm making, it has to go there. That's it. It's your end point for everything. Like I don't have any other way of uploading any of the shapes. They have to go into this thing.
Yeah.
I got my whole bus line of conveyor belts right here, dumping out.
Beautiful.
It's pretty satisfying.
It's like a wonderful ballet.
Apparently, right now the game starts to crap out at about 100,000 buildings. I'm not sure how many buildings I have right now. I have 11.7k buildings.
Okay.
The dev said you can beat the game at about 50 to 80k buildings. And the game runs well up to about 100,000 buildings, and then at about 200,000 buildings, the game really starts doing bad. So, I mean, these are all early access caveats. They're working on all of that.
200,000 sounds like quite a bit. So,
I mean, I only have 10k now, and I feel like I have a lot. Although a lot of it's just like railways and conveyor belts. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the dev said you can easily finish the game at less than 100,000. So you just have to really be getting silly with it to get over that, I imagine.
Yeah.
You have to purposely be trying to break the game. Like, let's game it out. That YouTube channel. That's where I saw this game.
Oh. Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, I probably like this game. And I did. That's it. That's what's hot with me.
No movies, no TV.
I mean, I also watched. I checked out The Institute. That's like 2 episodes deep of the 8 episodes that they're ever going to do for it because it's just a miniseries based on a Stephen King novel.
Yeah,
about a psychic kid getting kidnapped.
And
going to the Institute where they kidnap psychic kids and exploit them, and he's trying to escape. And then there's also some like recovered alcoholic cop, washed out cop.
The huge.
It's pretty Stephen King. It's actually really, it's all the King tropes. Novel came out in like 2019. I'd never read, but that's kind of an interesting premise, though. Kid seems cool. He's like a super genius, which is completely separate from his psychic powers. Like, you don't have to be a genius to be a psychic. All the other kids aren't geniuses. Some of them are straight up dumbasses. He's also a super genius. So, like, him coming into the NC, he's going to help all these other kids escape. He's a genius. The reason he got kidnapped when he did, actually, is he was about to go to MIT, and they wanted to kidnap him before he, at 14 years old, went into MIT because that would be in the news and shit, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why he ends up getting scooped up when they do. But yeah, 2 episodes in. It's that's all right. It's fine.
Okay.
I've been interested by it. If it sucks ass, it's only going to be 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Because they're just doing the story from the novel. It's which I like. It's all planned out to be, 8 episodes and done. Just one season. We're gonna tell the story. I like that. Show's designed to end so they don't get canceled and I get disappointed.
Right.
I'm still never gonna get over Time Bandits. I fucking love that show. So good. It's old.
Yeah.
What about you, Frankie? What TV did you watch?
The only TV that I've been able to watch is I think I'm halfway through Daredevil. Born
Like
Again.
the new one?
Yeah. And
Well, you're through the worst of it then. The first half is
I felt like it was okay. It wasn't like anything super great. I was enjoying it, but the last episode I saw, I was like, all right, can we get on with this? Like, this is the feeling that I had with the old Daredevil. So maybe I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see if I'm through the worst, then cool. But
Go
yeah,
through the worst.
it definitely has potential. So I'm enjoying where they're going, you know, with him and whatnot, and the story they're trying to tell here. And I think it's a pretty close to a direct line from Daredevil. I've never been a big fan, but I think this was one of his stories, right?
Yes, it was
yeah,
one
this
of
is,
them.
Yeah.
The Frank Miller one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Frank Miller one. Yeah.
So yeah. Otherwise, so.
Except for one of the editions, they had that like serial killer thing.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I mean,
that's
They
well,
never stuck.
that's just
Sorry,
that's
go
just to punch up the. Oh well, I was just saying that's just to punch up the first act because
ahead.
this season is only the first, like the first half of the story, and it's
Mhm.
the slower half of the story. So they put that serial killer in there to give Daredevil something to do. The first half of it is just Matt Murdock brooding. That's pretty much the whole Frank Miller comic. Honestly, that's all of Frank Miller's comics. It's
Yeah, I was
just
gonna
like,
say.
you know, I'm just gonna take your superhero, and he's gonna spend the whole time brooding. And then I'll make some social commentary, and
Isn't that what superheroes
he
do?
did that. He did that to every superhero in the 80s.
That's what every superhero's gonna do, thanks to him. But trying to think if there's any movies. I don't think so. I think that covers it for me.
I watched The Ballerina, but I don't know if I'd recommend it. It's all right.
Yeah.
The John
I'd
Wick,
recommend it. It was
John Wick
fun.
thing. It was all right.
It was a fun.
Like I didn't
John
hate
Wick
it or
movie.
anything.
Mm-hmm,
It was a fun John Wick movie.
Oh, I watched the new Wes Anderson movie. I wouldn't really recommend that. Fucking Wes Anderson wasting my goddamn time. Stupid movies. It is very it's very pretty though, and the performances are all pretty good.
what's
Some
it
are
called?
really good. The Phoenician Scheme.
Oh. Venetian Scheme.
Got Benicio del Toro in it. And
Yeah.
I enjoy the performances, and it's beautifully shot, like really well shot. But it's fucking just kind of don't like Wes Anderson movies.
That's fair. That's
They're so up their own ass, you know.
yeah.
They're so pretentious.
We get it. You know how to do filmography. Shut the
Yeah.
fuck up.
Now learn how to write dialogue. Stop acting like these jokes were funny.
Now write like a real
Also-
person. Write a real character.
I'm sure that like Wes Anderson humor lands for people, but for me it's pretty hit and miss.
Yeah.
It's like the whole writing. It's like they're like every time they tell a joke, sometimes they'll land for me. When they don't, you can see how fucking funny that the movie thought that joke was. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like, come on, movie. That was terrible. That joke. The 5 fart sniffers that'll think that joke was funny. So yeah, hot and cold on Wes Anderson stuff.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I think we're gonna go watch Superman here today, so soon. Actually, I think I gotta get ready to get going.
Pretty good things. I saw him save a squirrel in this one.
He does. Ooh, I like squirrels.
That squirrel
And
turns
I
out
guess
to be
he's
Squirrel
a true-
Girl.
I guess he's a true hero.
Oh, I see. It all
In a
Oh,
rare
comes together.
crossover. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how they're going to tie the DCU into the MCU. They're going to merge them. into one big ball of CGI crap.
Mm-hmm.
They'll all just be shot in the same studio behind a green screen.
Apparently, that's not what they're doing with the new Spider-Man. Which apparently, what's his name? Tom Holland was very happy about.
Yeah, that's probably nice, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like we do a decent amount of on-location filming. I don't know, I haven't really seen that many Spider-Mans. I saw part of one of them. I don't watch Marvel movies.
That's fair.
What was that one? No Way Home?
Yeah.
I only saw like the second half. He like cracks the dimension, and then it's got all the Spider-Mans in it. It's got Sam Raimi's Spider-Man,
Right.
and it's got that other Spider-Man from the Spider-Man movies that I also didn't watch, and then also Tom Holland from the other Spider-Man movies that I didn't watch. I might have just watched that for Jake Gyllenhaal.
That's fair.
Or Tobey Maguire, not Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. Tobey Maguire.
Jake Gyllenhaal was in one of the Spider-Mans I didn't watch, right? He was what's his face?
He was in the second Tom Holland one.
Okay, yeah.
He played what's his name? Mysterio.
Yeah, what's his name? Exactly. Yeah, what's his face?
Mysterio.
It's so mysterious.
I can't remember his name. It's such a mystery.
Right? That's how he gets away with it. But
Yeah, I only saw part of that. Probably shouldn't have any. I've seen all the Sony Spider-Mans, all the animated ones. I like those. Oh,
it's still gonna be like 2 years till the last one, to the second part of Into the Spider-Verse, and they delayed it again by like only a few weeks, but whatever. Crazy.
Yeah, I'll let Sony cook.
Yeah.
Although I didn't really. The second one was okay, but I don't really.
It's just such a part one.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
Such a part one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It needs
like
this next bit.
I know.
I don't really
Frankie's so upset.
off.
I feel him.
So
We do need this next one.
Indeed. All right. Well, let's leave it there. We'll wrap up this show. Yeah. All right. Nothing else? Nobody else wants any mentions? Any concerns? Questions? Comments?
No.
Sorry, I told you to shut up earlier, Christian. I was trying to get something from Frankie, and you kept interrupting. That's it. I shouldn't have told you to shut up, though. That wasn't cool.
It happens. It happens in our discussions. You know, it's okay. We know.
It gets heated sometimes.
Well, not even heated, just trying to like.
I was just getting frustrated trying to understand Frankie, and then you kept interrupting him when he was trying to explain it to me. It made me more frustrated.
Yeah, we're just all trying to get out what we're trying to say and whatnot. But yeah.
I'm trying to win.
I know,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
You thought that winning just meant words per minute, but
Stop. I paid you that $100 to tell me that it was.
do that.
You said it was a whole online course.
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's online.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I was right here.
3-course dinner. Online only, though.
Well, with that,
We're credited.
thank you everyone for joining us. Yeah, we're gonna do Sunday or Saturday. What are we gonna do? Want to go back to the normal day?
I mean, whatever works best for you.
Yeah.
I mean, either
Saturday
way.
works fine.
You can also do Sundays. I mean, if you guys are okay with that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's easier for you. I don't
Whatever you want.
care.
Yeah. I'll figure it out. But
This is a and we'll see you next time.
yeah.
We could also
Thanks.
We could also do later in the evening if you wanted. Whatever.
Well, I don't know about evening, but
Do three
We'll see.
3 shows a week.
3 shows a week.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
8-bit
stream every day.
Dark. and 8-Bit in the morning, and then we just have like a regular show as well. Well, we have to move it a little later than the if we're gonna have 8-Bit in the morning.
Yeah, 8-Bit in the morning, 8-Bit in the evening, and then
8-Bit at supper time. When 8-Bits on a bagel, you can have 8 bits every time.
This week 8-Bit.
This week, 8-Bit.
Oh yeah. We cover highlight the weekly events.
Yeah.
Big rundown episode. Yeah.
Yeah, that we're just saying. Yeah, 2 a day. Yeah, you got this right, Frankie?
No. Yeah. So,
No.
but catch us here next
But I think we'll
weekend.
run out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Catch us here next weekend. We'll be back. And yeah, we love you all. Bye.
Bye.
Geez, just in time for the end. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Get out of here.